First station in the area of Pennsylvania playing Christmas music. The Happy 92.7. But that's not the topic of today's video. Wrong way. Whoops. Today's video, I like making things, as you guys may know. And I also like radios, as you could tell up there. So, we're going to put together a little FM radio kit. Should hopefully be fun. Hopefully I can stay in frame here. I'll start by, I guess I don't need the scissors to cut the bag open. Start by tearing the bag open. We've got a headphone jack. Yeah, that's a nice feature to have. Modern flagship phones don't even have that. Gotta be careful here. There's a battery compartment with some buttons in it. Some tack switches, I believe what these are called. Okay. I think out comes next is our PCB with resistors on top of it. You can see how condensed this is. And like I said, here's some resistors. And then there's capacitors, more capacitors, and LED. There's an LED, probably a power indicator. And last but not least, a glass diode of some kind. Maybe a Zener. Not quite sure. Now there are instructions for this. I'd have to go grab my laptop. And I actually kind of forgot about that. The hardest part of this will probably be installing the radio IC, just because it's a surface mount component. But this doesn't look like it'd be the hardest thing in the world. Just won't be the easiest. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Here's a quick little tip for assembling circuit boards. Start with the shortest components. So start out with when making this stuff, start out with the short components, and then work your way up to the taller components. Like start off with like this IC, these diodes, things like that, and then get to the taller things like these electrolytic capacitors or the LED, or even the tack switches. Because when you install the tall components first, the board will sit at a weird angle, and it'll be a lot harder to install these components correctly. As I'm waiting for this iron to warm up. Alright, so I got the IC on. It doesn't look real pretty, but I made sure I made sure none of the connections are bridged. And yeah, now the IC is installed, so now it's time to install the other components. Alright, I'm at the part where I need to reference a picture, and it took me a little while to find the manual for this product since it was no longer on Amazon, but I eventually did find it. Now I can't tell you where to find it because I actually don't remember, because I found this a little while ago. I want to say I found it through archive.org, but I am not sure. But anyways, I'm going to start installing components. Turns out, let me see, let me just tilt the camera down. Turns out this is an inductor, not a resistor. Maybe that's why it's green and looks a little different. See what I mean? And it goes right here. Can you see what? No, you can't see what I'm doing. Whoops. So I keep it right here. goes right in through there. Actually, wait, let me do this first. So bend the leads. That'll make it a little easier putting it in the board. And then you just push it through. And you can bend the leads out. That'll actually hold it in. You get your soldering iron. Make sure it's nice and hot. Put a little solder on there and make it work a little better. So that's soldered. You don't need a lot for these modern circuit boards, but if you're working on like something old, you're going to need a little bit more solder because the legs and holes and stuff will be bigger. But yeah, there we go. You can see that's soldered, and then you just cut these off with edge cutters, which it appears I forgot to grab on my way down here. But I'll cut them off and I'll install a couple more components. I've got a little bit of an issue. One of my resistors is missing. I'm gonna move on without it for now, and I'll have to look for R1. That's the one that's missing, and it's different than these. But anyways, now I'm assuming these diodes are different. No, I'm not assuming they're different. I'm assuming they're the same. So look here. Yeah, they are the same. So I'll stick them in here like this. I keep forgetting this helpful tip, bending the leads. Make sure the black mark, according to the board, you got to make sure the black mark is going towards the marking on the board. I accidentally got some solder in that hole, so I have to clean that out. Sorry if I was off camera. I can't really see it right now. I have it plugged into my monitor, but this camera doesn't output while it's recording, which I find kind of silly. But I guess that's what you get when you use a point-and-shoot consumer-grade point-and-shoot cameras. But hey, it was cheap and it works okay. There we go. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure where the last camera cut off at, because the battery died, of course. But I got most of the components on. I have to just put on the tack switches. Yeah. I am not pleased with how a lot of the components fitted in and my solder jobs either. I don't know what it was today, but I just didn't do a good job. I mean, it's all fine. There's nothing bridged or anything. I made sure of that. They just don't look good. But I mean, not everything has to look good to work good, am I right? But yeah, we're almost done here. I'm installing this tack switch. It's now in the board. I just solder it on. Just like that. Yep. And I just do that for the rest of them, and then I solder on the battery compartment, load up some batteries, grab some speakers, and try this thing out. See how it plays. Alright, I got to make this quick. The camera battery is pretty much dead. We are ready to test. I've got my batteries and I've got some speakers. I didn't even have time to put this on the tripod. Or not, maybe not time, but motivation, because the battery is going to die pretty quick. Put the batteries in. This battery compartment doesn't take batteries very well at all. Okay, there's one. Speaker, plug it in. This battery compartment's crap. There's one battery. There's the other battery. And it's completely dead. Why am I not surprised? Let me investigate. So I gotta be quick because this is copyrighted music, and the reason why it wasn't working was because of a bad solder joint on the chip, which I'm not surprised about, and the antenna selector thingy went missing. And that was it. And I think the LED might be in backwards, but it's working, and it sounds actually pretty nice. So thanks for watching, and more to come.